Welcome back. Video number 2 of 4. So in this video, we're going to talk about who will sell you the house for 50, 60 cents on the dollar and why in the world would they do that? It just doesn't make sense. Under normal circumstance, I wouldn't do it. When I first got started, I was like, oh, nah, I don't even understand why someone would do it. And then I started learning on really why they would do it. And then it started making sense. So the first thing I want to start off by saying is here, listen to me clearly, that probably only about 20 to 30% of all the people, entities, corporations, everything, of all the houses being sold will consider to sell us their house. So I don't want you to think for a second that this is going to work on everyone. It is not. We are looking for specific type of situations that are occurring. We're looking for certain situations, certain challenges. And inside there, so like the question of why would someone sell us a house and give us a huge discount, right? So, and in my 20 years of investing and countless deals, just deals of analyzing deals and actually buying deals and going through it and our successful students. So we narrowed it down to there are some key factors. So the key factors is most people that are willing to take a huge discount are looking to get rid of, to get debt relief is number one. And number two, mental relief. What do I mean by debt relief and mental relief? Well, I'll give you an example. So debt relief, if someone can't afford to make the payment, they need the relief of that debt. So there's a thing of that they can't afford it, and then the other piece is that they don't want to. They highly don't want to make the payment. They could, but they highly don't want. So they still fall into a bucket of debt relief, and I'm going to go over some of the people and some of the situations in which would allow that in just a moment. Let's talk about mental relief. So mental relief could be, here's a famous one, bad tenants. So someone, and here's a common story that we see, that I see it all the time. Someone goes, they buy a book, or they're online and they say, hey, I want cash flow. So I'm going to go buy some properties. I'm going to go do I've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I should keep rental properties. And so they go out there, they fumble through it. They pay 95 cents on the dollar, almost full price for it. They get it. They got a tenant. The tenant is paying the rent. They make $200 or $300 of rent. Woo! It worked. But what happens, here's a statistic. Statistic is that landlords typically will get out of the business within 5 years, the average. Not all of them, but a lot of them will get out of the business in 5 years. Why? Because they get burnt out from the tenant. And when they leave and they want to get out of the business, what they're looking for is not debt relief. They want mental relief. Why? Let's say they have a tenant that's paying the rent. They're getting the money. They're paying the mortgage. They're paying the bills. All of that's there. But the tenant throws loud parties. The tenant breaks things. The tenant causes where the neighbors are complaining. They're parking on the grass. They're calling you at 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday night saying that the toilet clogged or that they lost their key and they need to get in the house. So they want you to come with the other key to open the door. Those kinds of challenges where people don't want to deal with them. And one of the main reasons that they have those challenges is because they really haven't been trained on how to properly be a great landlord. I took a lot of training on how to be a great landlord. I don't deal with that kind of stuff. But we know that it's out there and it's rampant. Why? Because they read the book. They didn't get so educated. But nonetheless, we are here to help them in their situation. So there's debt relief and mental relief. Let's go down the list. So here's something else that I want to come and say. So we the people, me, you, our job in wholesaling and buying these types of properties and being able to get huge discounts, we are professional problem solvers. But we solve specific problems. The problems that I am looking to solve and I know how to solve, and with us staying in communication, and what we're doing right now is me to teach you how to solve those problems. And the challenges that we are solving are mental and debt challenges, because we can fix those too. They have a problem and we have a solution. So here are a few different strategies. Who will sell us their houses at deep discounts? Behind on payments, job transfer. Let's say we have somebody that is buying a property. They already bought a house. and they have a second house and they have not sold that second house, they will definitely be looking to sell us that house at a discount. Maybe somebody lost a job. Maybe there was a job transfer. Maybe there was a death in the family. Maybe they just straight can't afford to pay the monthly payment. Maybe there was a lawsuit that was filed and they got to get rid of it. Maybe there was failing health, or maybe even failing, their business is failing. So they need to get rid of the house situation because it may be a mental stress or a financial stress because of that. Maybe they have little equity in the property and they just want to get out. So those are a lot of reasons. That's actually about 14 reasons on why situations on why someone would sell us their house at a very deep discount, and I promise you there are a lot more than that. But I want to kind of break those down a little bit more and talk about some of the ones that are and break them down to maybe a mental challenge or a debt relief challenge. So here's a few of them. Divorce. So here's some mentals. Divorce is a mental. Death in a family could be mental. They just plain don't want to have people walk through their house, nitpick their house. And they don't want to deal with that. That would be more of a mental, that they want to just get rid of it because of a mental situation. Failing health or failing businesses could be mental. They could afford to pay the payment. They just don't want to deal with it. And we see it a lot with inherited people. Maybe somebody in the family died. They get the property and now they've inherited. Now they got to go through all this probate and estate stuff where now they have to get rid of the property and they just don't want to deal with it at all. It's a mental challenge. It is such a burden on them. And we've all had this situation where we had something mentally going on and it put so much stress and weight and we were just like, I don't want to deal with it. Just get it away from me. I don't care what it costs. Those are the types of people we're going to help in those situations. So now let's talk quickly about what debt relief looks like. So who's going to sell us their house because of a debt relief situation? So number one, a bank. Bank and institution. Now you may say, wait, bank and institution, why would they sell us their house? Banks want cash flow. They don't want houses. So because they can't get the cash flow, they got to liquidate that. And that is a debt challenge that they're having on that. Number two, what if they transferred a job transfer? So they have a house here. Maybe they're renting over here. They got another mortgage there. They might want to come and do that because of a job. And remember on this, it doesn't always have to be bad stuff. It just has to be something. It's not all misery on their challenges. Maybe they got a job transfer and they're making 5 times the money. Yeah, they could afford to make the payment, but they don't want to. So that could be a reason. Maybe they bought a new house and they need to sell the other house. Now a double payment is very common. That's a bing, 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 bing. That one goes off a lot. We do a lot of those. Let's say they lost a job, debt relief. Can't afford the payment, debt relief. Pending lawsuit, debt relief. Little equity, debt relief. Facing foreclosure. They haven't made the payment in 6 months, a year, 2 years. They want debt relief from there. So those are situations on why someone would want to sell us their property at huge discounts, and they do it all the time. So the reason why I tell you this piece here is because now, and knowing this information, when you're going to go out and start marketing to buy these types of properties where you can wholesale quickly and make yourself $10,000 or more, that's where you would go to find those types of deals. So that's where we find huge discounts. We're going to go to the next video. So go click the next video. I'll see you on the next video. Let's go. Go.